Yo, what's up guys? We have a new announcement of Summoners War Rush being released, which is a new game from Comtos and a new game in the Summoners War IP. It is interesting to see that once again that they're focusing their resources on another game than Sky Arena, which is I've mentioned that a little bit, or well, a bunch of times in the last few videos. However, I do want to say one thing. Looking at the images here of all of the assets that they used, it looks very Chronicles, or it simply is like those are the assets from Chronicles. This is how Tesarion looks in Chronicles. This is Alicia, Zakmet. You can recognize most of them. Shimate maybe not really, but he looks a little bit different. But the main reason why I think that this all comes from Chronicles is also because Chronicles, in the end, we all know that it's not doing that well. And it is very common for a company to have, if you have a new game, you expect it to do well, you hire a lot of people, and at some point the game or the project doesn't do that well, you have to let people go. I'm not sure if that happened, but that is just my assumption, because that is kind of like the moment you see like server merging and those kind of things, you know a game isn't doing that well. I haven't seen that in Sky Arena yet, but we might get there at some point, who knows. But in Chronicles, they have done that a lot. They went from like 6 servers in the US to, I think now just 2 servers, maybe even 1 server. In Europe, it was 3, now it's down to 2 or 1, I'm not 100% sure. I think it's just 1 right now. But yeah, that is just happening, and it might be that these people were asked like either to say like, okay, we gotta let you go because there's not enough stuff to do on Chronicles, or you can go in a different route and create a different game. I think the second part is probably what happened here, and therefore they just went to try something completely different. So they tried for a MMO with Chronicles, they tried for, now in this case, for a idle RPG. I have no clue how the market is for idle RPG. To be honest, I haven't really played that many idle RPGs myself as well. I think AFK Journey is probably one of the more known idle RPGs out there right now, but yeah, I assume it isn't full-on idle RPG because of the AFK part. But yeah, let's see what's in it. So first of all, we have the pre-registration where they have the baby Shiba, which is the best-selling mount in the game of Chronicles. I think you don't even have to buy. I have it as well, and I'm pretty sure I didn't buy it. Just got it from like an event. That thing looks adorable though. I'll show it in game in Chronicles in a second, because yes, I'm still playing Chronicles. I just play it on the base of logging in, doing dailies, logging out, and then at the moment of an event or a bigger patch, I start playing a little bit. And it's not a bad game for that. Just don't spend on it. And if you're planning to play this as well for the first, I don't know how long, just don't spend on it. Just give it a proper try first, and then see if it's worth your money. Probably not, but you can at least give it a try. Maybe they are doing some crossovers between like, hey, you play the one game, you link your account to the other game, and then blah, 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 that kind of stuff. They did do that for Lost Centuria, which I'm actually going to talk about in a second as well. Apparently the game is still fucking alive. Can you believe that? But I talked a bit with a few people, mainly new, familiar face from the Reddit community probably. And yeah, the Lost Centuria is actually still alive. But let's first look at this. You might not really recognize the units in the picture over here. This, for example, is Feng Yang. Like if I say it, then it's like, oh yeah, that's obvious. But you have slightly different character models for Chronicles. And this is very Chronicles based, because that's also what we can see in some of the in-game pictures that they have on the Google Play Store. So yeah, there's good odds that they will actually go for a crossover, saying like, okay, you just get the first 5 or 10 or I don't know how many levels in the Rush game, and then it will actually go towards like some rewards in Sky Arena. They didn't do that for Chronicles, but they did do that for Lost Centuria. Interesting is though that the name Summoners War Rush, if you Google that right now, you end up with my videos because of the Arena Rush. So the name is kind of like, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, Summoners War AFK or Summoners War Idle probably also would have worked by Rush. Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, it's an interesting name. It's an interesting name. Probably throughout time, my Rush videos will go like further down in the algorithm and people are actually searching for this. But yeah, okay, I guess it boosts the algorithm on Arena Rush for a little bit. So that is kind of interesting to see. I think this is also made as a game, whereas Chronicles was really a game that you would main, and then you take a lot of players from Sky Arena, because you cannot, like, maining 2 games is difficult. Whereas an RPG idle game is definitely something you just put on the side, and you could just have running on like an emulator, or maybe they're also gonna do it on Steam, but it doesn't seem on Steam like for the first sales. But just something that you really have on the side while you still play like any of your other games. So I think it has maybe a little bit of marketing there. if like the thing is just kind of fun for upgrading and that kind of stuff. It's not too much of a crash grab and like crazy shit, but yeah, let's just see. So they have a few units over here. They do have one picture over here where you can see some kind of dungeon-ish what it's farming, but this one is definitely not showing too much. You do see a bunch of the assets over here, but I'll show a little bit more of the assets that they have in Chronicles. I would say personally, I like a lot of the units more in Chronicles than they are looking in Sky Arena, especially for skins. Some of the skins in Chronicles are definitely really badass. And yeah, so I do think that it is a nice idea for them to take Chronicle assets rather than the Sky Arena assets. But yeah, I'm definitely curious to see how this will look like. Also, the archer in Chronicles is a 5-star. This is going to be like your Darien, but then water, so I think that's called Alan, not 100% sure. And definitely you see over here, it's a little bit hard to see, but you see like Mav, Naomi. This is the Lizard Warrior. Then we have Remy, Chloe, some of this one I can't even, like it's even too small for me to read, but do we actually can click on this? Oh, we can click on those. Okay, so we have, okay, defend your islands. Okay, so is it the tower defense? I am kind of fond of tower defense. I haven't played that in a long time, but the best tower defense out there, let me know if you know this one. Let me know that in the comments. Elemental TD on Warcraft 3. That shit was fucking insane. That was like by far the best. This is also one of the bosses. Is like, you might say like, oh, that's Zyros. No, this is Naraka. This is actually like a boss in Chronicles. So it does look kind of okay. I'm just curious to see how it will go. Is this going to take a lot of resources and development thing that they would normally put on Sky Arena? Personally, I don't really think so. I think this is mostly borrowed from Chronicles than Sky Arena. We can see a few more pictures if you go to the Google Play Store and you have like the pre-registration in there. So these are the 15 legendary summons, it seems. Does seem like that they're all 5 stars in Chronicles. You have to keep that in mind. In Chronicles, the 4 stars became 5 stars, 3 stars became 4 stars, and 2 stars are 3 stars. And those kind of things. So Lucian in Chronicles is a 5-star, same for Vert and the other units. Archer is also a special archer, which you have like a 3-star archer, which also have, or no, wait, all the archers are straight up 5 stars. So yeah, it is like a redefined AFKing a tower defense experience. So tower defense in general, like the moment I saw, like first when I saw this, I'm like, idle game, whatever. Then I saw tower defense. I'm like, okay, tower defenses are mostly pretty decent to cool, so I definitely will give that a try. Oh, this thing on the right is Theor, but Theor in like the unawakened version, and you can actually set it back like the moment you awaken it to the unawakened version. It's kind of a cute thingy. But yeah, I would say that doesn't look too bad. Like if it's like a proper tower defense kind of game, that's, I might give that a try. Yeah, this also where you see that boss Naraka, so that's, yeah, not too bad. So let me show you a few of like the assets in Chronicles. So you saw that Thessarian, for example, over here. Skydance also look a little bit different. Camillas are pretty recognizable. Panda, the panda, especially in the unawakened form. Can I show the unawakened form in here as well? Yeah, this is where you see like the pandas looking slightly different, but in general you can see that all of these assets look pretty dope. They also look pretty booba. So yeah, that always of course does sell. This was one of the collabs with Evangelion, what's it called? Neon Genesis. I wonder if they're also going to put in like these kind of units. They should also in the first place put these kind of units in Sky Arena because they just look dope. Polar Queen. So yeah, definitely in general, like the assets of these units do look pretty dope. I also was going to say that I was going to show you that baby Shiba like mount kind of thingy. And that is the one, wait, how do you get on the mount? It goes automatically. Okay, this thing. This thing is just, it's so fluffy. So yeah, if you get these kind of things in there for cute value, it probably does really well. So yeah, there's just a few things that I could say, like, okay, at least they take things from Chronicles rather than Sky Arena. It's actually going to be the full-on development from Chronicles rather than Sky Arena. You never know, though. So in the end, Chronicles still alive, not doing that well, but they're still getting a lot of patches and there's still some players logging in. However, you can check on Steam. I think Chronicles is mainly played on Steam and not necessarily on iOS or Android, but there's currently 1,300 people in-game for Chronicles, where there is about 1,000 in-game for Sky Arena. So that's definitely where you can see a bit of a difference in there, where Chronicles is not doing that well, and that's also why I guess they took a lot of the Chronicles resources into the new Rush game. Maybe they're also taking Sky Arena resource into that part. Yeah. What can you say about it? Funny enough, though, you and me actually got talking, and apparently Lost Centuria is still alive. Because I thought this is the YouTube channel of Lost Centuria, and the last video is like a year ago that they released the unit, and they were already on pretty slow pace of releasing units. So I was like, okay, this game is just dying, like nothing is happening, nothing is going on anymore. But Neo actually logged in. Sure, it's all in German, so you can't really say much, or it doesn't say much to you. But look at the dates. They were like, he said that there were like 3 events ongoing for like returning players, 5 other events, and then 2 more events or something. So 10 events ongoing at the same time. And actually, every month they still released a new unit in there. I'm like, wait, what? Lost Centuria's alive? And then I started checking a bunch of YouTube channels. So the only YouTube channel that I could find is this Thai guy. And you do actually see a lot of new units in here as well that they didn't have back then. Such as like a Tableau, Snipers, Sigmarus, that they have been adding a lot of units, El Sharion. They've been adding like a lot of units to this game, and they don't even mention it on their own. It's kind of weird. Like they're still updating the game, but maybe just for other regions and not for that much for English and that kind of stuff. That could totally be a thing. But apparently, I thought this game was long dead already, but apparently it's still alive. Apparently there's still development on and everything on it. It's been a while since I saw this game, because I think I played it for when it was released for the first month, I think even like 2 weeks to a month to get all of the achievements in that you would get some free stuff in Sky Arena, and then I called it a quit. With this Rush thing, it's definitely something that you would put mainly on the side, and in the end, like I said, I haven't played that many tower defenses as of recently, but back in the days I definitely did play a lot of tower defenses. So there's a few things that I hope with this. A, it's not an insane cash grab, because in the end we kind of know which way Countess is going at the moment. So if this is an insane cash grab, then yeah, well, not gonna be my game then. Number 2, I hope that it doesn't take more resources that they could have spent in Sky Arena, because there's actually a lot of things they could do in Sky Arena. But I'm not necessarily sure if the issue of like they don't have the resource to do it, but they simply just do not want to do it, which in the end, then it doesn't matter where you put any of your resources, right? Because the simple fixes that I addressed in a previous video of fixing R5, making skins faster, blah, blah, that kind of stuff, that all takes like super minimum work rather than like making a whole game. So that's probably not a resources issue, but an issue of just not wanting to do stuff. I don't know. And number 3, I hope that this is just a fun game, that it actually has some, like it does has tower defense stuff, but from the looks of it over here, it doesn't look too tower defense-ish to me in the first place. So I'm not 100% sure if it's actually going to be that much of a tower defense or just an idle game, because it looks a lot more like an idle game. All your units walk to the front, they start smacking, and then at some point you get a bunch of rewards. That is not really tower defense-ish, that is just idle game-ish, but that is just from the looks of it. Who knows? Guys, let me know in the comments what you think about this one, and I hope to see you as always in the next one. Thanks for watching. If you would like to see more guides, join the Discord and check out the content tab for the guide video archive, which contains all of the guides that you might need. Hope to see you there.